Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where last episode we paid off a significant chunk of our debt and now are theoretically capable of constructing and continuing to pay off our debt at the same time. And that's a very big deal. Now we'll see what ends up happening here. We've had some bad luck the last couple of rolls, but we never really expected too much here. Ooh, a debate failure again? Ooh, we're gonna have to take a setback. Okay, that's very sad. Oh, we just straight up fail. With no setbacks. Wow. Is that a change that they made? That used to give us setbacks. Huh. That's very interesting. Well, minus 10% bureaucracy is really rough for us at this moment. But sure, I guess that's fine. I'm going to build 6 additional government administrations here. That's going to be painful, but we got to get this dealt with. I think we're going to need more than that, but for now, we can get started on that one. Yeah, I know we're running a deficit. We've had this has not been a good episode so far. We're 1 minute into this, and we've already had multiple things go horribly, horribly wrong. Okay, so that's exciting. Let's get these government administrations done. We'll get this back on track. We were in a great position, and now we're just kind of not. So that's, very exciting. We are going to need more government administrations than this, I think. Do we have the population to continue expanding this in Hijaz? Kind of? Kind of. But honestly, we're probably better off doing this in, Algiers. We have minus 25% construction efficiency there. There's not a lot we can do about that, though, and it's probably fine. But I think I'm going to continue building here for now. I'm going to put in 5 additional. Is that painful? Absolutely it is. But we got to get this done. We just have to. We have to solve this bureaucracy issue. So we're just going to continue to build these periodically and see where that puts us. It's going to be very painful, though. Any way we slice it, it's really rough. Okay, so we're at minus 785 right now. Oil discovered in Constantine, that's fine. This is fake. Ignore this. We're not running a surplus right now. We're absolutely in a deficit, right? We should be in a deficit here. Yeah, there we go. That's more like it. That's more like what I expected to see. Black gold, black money, huh? Everybody's going to be angry about this, no matter what. I'm going to take the opinion of the industrialists being at a minus. Is it great? No. No, it is not. That's another bad event. But it's fine. The game has decided we're just not going to have a good time right now. Okay. That's okay. We can deal with it. So we need more government administrations, and this is going to be an additional 5 going into Hijaz immediately. We just need to continue to boost that up. We're still taking a pretty hefty tax waste hit here. So let's get those completed, and that will be fine. We're going to have a big surplus of bureaucracy once that's done. Sure, the industrialists can be anti-France. Whatever. That's fine for now. So we're going to get this government administration setup done here. That'll boost us significantly. The question is, will we still be able to build without running a deficit? I don't know. It's going to be tough. Okay, so we're at 160. This is positive, but I don't think that's going to be the case perpetually. Let's see what happens on this week tick. 148. That's really close. I want to check on government administrations here. We are fully employed. So we do need at least 2 more in Hijaz. Let's get that done. We got to get this situation under control. So that'll be fine. We'll get another logging camp finished up in Israeli Catalonia, and we're very close to properly running a surplus at this point, but we're not quite there. Now, glass is expensive at this time, and we might want to consider building a glassworks or 2. We probably do want to consider that. Okay, there's those 2 government administrations done. That will be close to getting us to where we need to be, but I think we're going to need a couple more still. Yeah, we're still very, very close here. Let's build 2 more of those, and then I want to work on maybe some glassworks. So here in Palestine is not a terrible place to do it. Lebanon is slightly better. Okay. I'm going to make 5 here, because Palestine, we're already at 30. We're already at our economy of scale cap. So that sounds good. I'm going to build up in Palestine, but this is going, or rather in Lebanon, this is going in at the bottom of the queue right now. And I want to just keep doing this for right now. Okay, that'll bring us up to the economy of scale cap, and we probably don't need to be, we probably don't need all of that. I'm going to move up 3 for right now, and we're going to do something kind of like, well, I want this, and then this motor industry will go here, and we'll just kind of intersperse these a little bit, kind of like that. Okay, so let's get going on that. I do want to deal with the price of glass a little bit. That will be useful for us, for sure. So let's get a motor industry completed here, and we'll just move up those glassworks periodically. For the moment, I'm not hugely prioritizing them. Okay, let's get these 2 government administrations done. That'll put us in a decent surplus, and then we'll be able to have a very good surplus once that malice runs out. So that seems fine. Kermanshah wants their own market. Sure, why not? You can have that. Kermanshah is these guys out over here. They don't have a connection to us. So that sounds absolutely good for right now. So at this point, we've got these motor industries that are going to be finishing up in 7 weeks here, and that's very, very solid. We've also got some glassworks going in, and we've got more logging camps in the queue. Explosives are a little bit expensive, and we might want to consider a small investment into explosives. And yes, I'm noticing this. This is because we don't have a second private construction going on right now. I want this to go into Hejaz. We're just going to build 1 and right up on the top of the queue. That's all I'm going to do for now. Oh, we just saw a private construction go in as well in Hejaz. This is fine. I'm going to leave that. We probably need more than 1 here anyway, so that's fine for the moment. Privatizing a port is a good thing. I would very much like to see that happen. That'll help us pay off some of this debt. We're running a deficit at this moment, and we want to not be doing that, ideally. But we only have 1 private construction ongoing at this time. So that's definitely noted. As we get some of these finished up, we should find ourselves in a better place here. I do see this fertilizer issue here, and that will likely continue to be a thing as we get these 2 explosives factories dealt with. We might want to do that. That's a potential fundamental problem there. So I think we should get a fertilizer plant into Hejaz. Let's get that going. Just a singular one. Only the one. What is this? Armenia wants their own market? Yeah, you can have it. I don't want it. Absolutely fine. So that looks good. At this point, we are going to be finishing up these glassworks fairly soon. That's going to be a significant boon for us, because if we go in here, we can look at our construction costs and we can see we're spending 41K on glass. Now, steel's a little higher, but that's still a lot going into glass. So that is noted. But we're probably going to have to pause construction at some point, because I don't want to be building debt, and we are building debt at this time. So I think I'm going to let this continue until we finish up at least these 2 glassworks, and then we may consider pausing. That'll also get us a motor industry done. We'll see where that puts us. What is this? Romandy wants to trade through us and is offering us 1K per week to be able to do that. Yes, we accept that. And there's immediately a native uprising diplomatic play against us. This is not a problem. We'll just send our teeny tiny little army out over here to deal with this. Excellent. So that sounds good. Okay, so we're about to finish these up, and I was talking about pausing construction after we're done with this, and I think we should. I'm going to pause construction now. So we got those couple of glassworks finished up. We got a few motor industries built. That's all fine. I want to pay off this debt. I want to not be paying that interest. So for the moment, that's looking good. Privatizing glassworks, I like to see that. The faster we can get that debt paid off, the better off we are. We just ended up in an awkward situation where we needed a lot more bureaucracy, and that bureaucracy is, of course, expensive for us to make. So that's why we flipped around a little bit there. Now, I would like to get a law change going since we failed on child labor. Do we have something good here that we'd want to do? We could go to theocracy, which kind of works for the direction we want to go here. Kind of. What are our other options? Multiculturalism. The intelligentsia will be very angry about that, as will the rural folk. We might not want to poke that particular bear at this moment. We're on state religion, which I'm fine with, although we could move down. I don't think there's a good reason to at this moment. So I would love to go to public schools. This would be absolutely ideal. Trade unions and industrialists would be down for that. Can we change around what we have here? 19. Okay. That's not ideal. We gotta wait. Okay, that's fine for now. What else do we have? We're on interventionism right now. We could move down to laissez-faire. Odds are not great on that. Yeah, there's really just not much for us to change at this moment. We could try to roll theocracy, but honestly, I kind of want to go more towards democracy because I really want to get legitimacy from votes. So I think we just need to chill for the moment, pay off our debt, and then we can start cutting taxes. That's the idea here. That will help us substantially. So our debt's down below 6 million, and we'll get that paid pretty quick. So all is looking good there. We're going to have this war break out here in a moment, and that's no problem whatsoever. Yeah, we're not currently colonizing up here, but we apparently were. I thought we were colonizing down here, but we're colonizing here. That's interesting. Well, that's absolutely fine. So at this point, of course, we have that bureaucracy malice at this moment. I'm wondering how long that lasts. It's this one. 15 months. Okay. So we're going to have a ludicrous amount of bureaucracy once that's done. That seems fine. So at this point, we've definitely dropped our interest payments a little bit. What is this event? Trade unions would be happier. Yes, let's get some trade union happiness going on here. That sounds good. I'd really like to get the trade unions into power a little bit so that we can start working up some of our mortality rate. That'd be really good. Okay, so this war is over, and we're colonizing very fast out over here. Wow. Very, very fast. I like it. So that looks solid, and we're now down under 5 million in debt. So that's looking good. The question is, if we resume construction, are we still paying off our debt at this point? My current thinking is probably not, but we are at 90K. I want to give it a week, and we'll see how it goes. 10.4. I don't mind that. 212. That's still technically positive. We just finished this up, so this is not a real number here. 17.9 is not bad, though. 1.34. I can live with just barely positive. That's fine. That's, in fact, kind of ideal. Minus 44, that's not much of a deficit. We are about to finish up this private construction, though, and that's going to be a bit of an issue for us. They did immediately start up another one. Okay. Let's let this settle. 3.75. Ethiopia's making claims on us. Hilarious. Okay, that's fine for now. Yeah, I think we're barely able to do this construction at this point. So I'd like to move a couple of extra glassworks up. I'm going to move 3 more because we see glass is still quite expensive. And I'm just going to do something kind of like this. I want this glassworks to be up here, and then we're going to do that. We're going to be working pretty heavily on these glassworks, for sure. Now, our bureaucracy just went back to being negative. And when are we going to have this done? 11 months? Okay, I feel like we need 1 additional government administration. I don't want to do that, but it does feel necessary. We need to be cautious with building these, though. We're going to be overbuilt here in under a year. So that's absolutely understood. We'll get that finished up. So more glassworks going in. I'm still seeing the price of groceries and logging being up there. We are working on some logging, and we're not working on groceries at this moment. Oil has been discovered in Lombardy. Now, we have a lot of oil that we could build. Is oil profitable for us right now? Not really is the answer, and that's because we just don't really have much demand for it. So that's absolutely understood. Now, we have no private constructions ongoing right now, so we actually have to pause our construction here. We are still going to get this finished, I think. No, because we prepay 1 week, or rather post-pay 1 week. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we need to continue to pause construction here until such a time as privates roll back up. We need private construction. We cannot be constructing if there isn't private construction. So we'll just continue to pay down our debt for the time being. We're still paying $8K per week in interest. That's very significant. So we'll let that go. We'll get this fertilizer plant done as soon as we start up our construction again. And that looks fine. In the meantime, there are a lot more glassworks queued up here, but I don't know that we actually need this many. I'm going to get rid of them for now. Yeah, this is a lot of glassworks. Let's get rid of these. I don't think they're strictly speaking necessary at this time. Okay, so that seems fine for the moment. The intelligentsia are still angry at us. Understandable. For the time being, we're at 3.47 million in debt. And I think we're probably at a point now, well, we do have only 1 private construction ongoing right now. I really want to get our construction going again. And I'm going to do it. Let's see where we are. 6.23? How realistic is that? That's more like where I expected to be. We are about to finish up a logging camp. So this is still not fully settled. We need to give this another week or 2 before we can really have a good gauge on where we're going to be here. Okay, 2.55 is not terrible at this moment. 2.54, 8.06. That's because this finished. Okay, pausing construction. So philosophical pragmatism has been unlocked. That is very good for us. Minus 5% bureaucracy population cost modifier. That's always great. And I want to get going on rubber mastication, I think. Unlocking rubber plantations would be a good thing. So let's get going on that. That'll be absolutely fine. And we're still working on paying off our debt. We just don't have any private constructions ongoing right now, and we just gotta pay this off. That's all there is to it. Oh, look at that. An Alexandrian positivist revolt. That's interesting. I'm tempted to try to do something about that. But I'm also not at the same time, because we've got other problems. So for now, we're just about done paying this debt. 2.5 million. We're down to paying 4K in interest. We've really snowballed this debt a lot. And every week that passes, we're saving about 150 in interest, and that's all going into principal. So that's all absolutely fundamentally great. We are delighted by that. Okay, Ethiopia sided with Alexandria. I'm not surprised about that one. And we've been working on doing some privatization here. If they're actually going to privatize that motor industry in Palestine, I find that delightful. I'm actually very, very supportive of this. And they did. They did do a privatization there. We're down to 1.5 million in debt. Now 1.4 million. We're about a year away from being fully out of debt at this point, and that's exactly where we want to be. So we're going to keep working on that. Privatization building up here is great. We are delighted by that. That is money that we can absolutely put in over here. Portugal, why are you a different color now? Didn't you used to be a different color? I feel like they did. At any rate, we're making 100K even at this point. So that's great. We're now about 10 weeks away. 10 weeks away from getting out of debt. And that is absolutely phenomenal. I'm just going to be patient here. We're going to wait that out. Our private investment is absolutely falling behind in its investment pool growth, and that's not surprising considering our law situation. But as of right now, this is delightful. We are about to be out of debt in just 6.5 weeks. Fantastic. Also working on some privatizations in Hejaz. That's okay. I don't mind it so much. But we need just a little bit more here. 1K in interest. Under 1K now. 859. Beautiful. It's looking phenomenal. Now 660. So we can begin construction basically anytime we want to. I think we're still going to be running a deficit at this moment because my belief is that without private construction, we're going to be short by about 15K, something like that. But we do definitely want to be growing our economy at this time. We now officially have gold reserves, and I'm going to start construction. Let's see where this puts us. Minus 10? It's not as bad as I was expecting. Minus 30. That's worse than I was expecting. Okay. Well, we knew it would be up there, that's for sure. But this is still 3 weeks of construction per week of not construction, right? That's a 3-to-1. That's really not bad. That's really, really, really not bad. So let's get some of these additional glassworks built and motor industries and logging camps. This is all things that we eventually are going to need. Dropping our price of glass would be phenomenal, and we do see that that price of glass is falling. The price of groceries is still pretty up there, and there's also this paper price that is floating up here for now. That's noted, but I want to work through this construction queue a little bit and see where that puts us. That'll get our glassworks and our engines and our timber in a pretty good spot. And then we'll get to these power plants. And that's going to be interesting. No doubt about that. Power plants are expensive. They're very expensive to build. But we'll get there. So we see that our gold reserves are actually growing. And this is because of privatization. So that's very good. We're able to utilize this investment pool to deal with our deficit at this moment. So yeah, that sounds absolutely great to me. Let's keep working on that. So these glassworks are going to be done shortly. Those are all coming online. If we go up into Lebanon, I want to check on how these glassworks are doing at this point. Okay, they're doing absolutely fine. They need to continue to expand, probably. Yeah, that's looking good. But it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to watch our GDP just absolutely skyrocket from here. That'll be phenomenal. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.